Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining me here today so that we can discuss Secrets Between Sisters. So in this Lifetime movie, we learn about two sisters who love each other, have an incredibly strong bond, and are super close, but they also have some little bit of a rift here and there because they have very different lifestyles. One sister is very kind of proper, she's trying to do things the right way, very by the book, she's settled down, she's got a family, husband, kids, career, all that kind of stuff, white picket fence. Her sister, on the other hand, is more of a free-spirited kind of a wild child who likes to have fun and focus on kind of just enjoying life and taking risks, stuff like that. So they're very different, but they love each other. So whenever one of the sisters disappears and eventually turns up dead in a dumpster, the other sister is not willing to just accept the fact that her sister made some wild decision. She knows that while her sister is a free spirit, that she wouldn't go to she wouldn't put herself at risk like this. So she starts her own investigation and discovers that a lot went on that she didn't know about. And that's kind of the premise here as she gets deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole and things just keep unraveling around her. So this movie starts off a little bit slow, especially for a Lifetime movie. I thought it was going to be more of a wine sipper where it's just kind of a more traditional, slow-paced, grounded thriller. That's definitely not the case here. It does start to kind of come off the rails a little bit about halfway through the movie, which I appreciated. But I do want to emphasize this is not a psycho thriller. This is still a pretty overall grounded thriller, but it does escalate a little bit more than it seems like it's going to at the beginning. It's definitely not wild or over the top, but it has some interesting moments, and it's got a little bit of light sleaze, and it's mostly hinted at, but there's a couple scenes where you start to realize that the sisters aren't really that different when it comes to certain aspects of their life. But it's an interesting movie. It's got good performances. It's just kind of straightforward for a Lifetime thriller, so don't expect a lot of crazy spiraling melodrama and stuff like that or over the top performances. But I thought that the cast here was solid, and I think the story is good. And I think the way the story unfolds in the second half is really interesting. Watching kind of the more trad sister delve into the mysteries of her sister's life led to some interesting moments. But in the end, I was engaged by this. It held my attention. I certainly was never bored. So while I tend to prefer the psycho, just out of pocket, wild Lifetime thrillers, I thought Secrets Between Sisters was enjoyable and entertaining. I didn't really have any issues with it. So if you like a more grounded Lifetime thriller, or you just like Lifetime thrillers in general, I would check this one out. I had a pretty good time with Secrets Between Sisters, and it certainly had some memorable moments in it. But that's my review for the movie. If you want to check out more, I've got a playlist right here on YouTube. But thanks for watching this video, and hopefully I'll see you soon.